Guys, I have another art journal page using the new Dina Wakley media supplies from the August 2008 release that just came out a couple days ago. I'm starting out on a piece of watercolor paper that has a layer of gesso on it, and I cut it to fit inside my mini art journal, which is 4 inches by 5 inches, the pages. So this sheet here is 5 inches tall by 8 inches wide, and then it has a score along the center to fit into my journal. So I'm starting out with some sky acrylic paint, and I'm applying that with a lot of water to get it flowing around. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of peacock and adding water so that mixes in with the sky. And once that layer is dry, I'm going to go in with some more peacock, and I'm really scrubbing that in with my paintbrush. And now I'm going to go through some of the new collage words, and I'm trying to pick out the white versions, and that's new to this release. The previous collage words pack did not have white versions of the words. So I'm just cutting them apart so that they fit a little bit better on my background. But before I do that, I'm going to work a little bit on some stenciling, and I'm using this face stencil also from the new release. And I'm going to apply some white gesso through the stencil, and the only reason I'm using gesso is because I don't have any white paint. And I am applying the paint all over the background of my page, and I know it's white at the top and the bottom, but by applying the paint in this way, it kind of fades, the stencil images kind of fades into the color on the page, and I really like the way that looks. Now I should have waited to do the stenciling until after I did the collage words, but I didn't know really where this page was going, so it is what it is. So I saw on Dina Wakley's Instagram, she did a post that she was like, oh, you can apply these collage words with acrylic paint, and it like instantly colors the background, and I thought it looked so cool, so I wanted to try it for myself. So I'm just taking the same colors that I used in the background, the sky and a little bit of the peacock, and putting that on the back of the collage words, and then using that as my adhesive to put that onto my page. And then the edges of the sheets looked a little stark against my lighter colored background, so I'm just adding those same colors, sky and peacock, around the edges and working them into the background, so it's not so stark of a contrast of the collage words against the background. I'm going to add a little bit of water to that layer of paint and get it moving around and dripping towards the top and bottom. And I'm going to dab away the paint from the center of my collage words so that you can see them a little bit better. So I dried that layer, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the sky, just because it looked a little, it still looked a little stark to me. And now I'm going to go back in with my stencil. This is, I should have skipped the stenciling earlier and just did it now so that it could the stencil could go over the top of my collage words, and it would look a little bit like it was more, everything was more cohesive. So I have this tag here that I covered with some math book text, and I ran it through my sewing machine, and I also added a Tim Holtz reinforcer tab to it to make it look more like a tag. And this was in my stash, and I had got this idea from an element that Corey Harriman had used on one of her art journal pages, and I really liked the way it looked, so I had made a couple of them. Yeah, so I'm gonna add some of those same colors of paint to my tag, but I'm also gonna add a little bit of marine for a little bit of darkness, and I'm also gonna add a little bit of gesso to it as well. And here I have the white version of the collage words, and it says, "You are worth it." And I cut them apart. I'm gonna edge them with a little bit of black ink, and I have to be very careful because, you know, it's just tissue paper, so it's very flimsy. So it was a little bit delicate work to try to edge them, but I wanted to edge them with the black ink to make them stand out from the background. I'm just gonna try to put them where I want them to go, and then I'm going to use a little bit of Collage Posh matte to apply them. And I'm just running like a little strip across the center of each word. I'm not covering the whole thing in entirety. So it's going to stick up a little bit around the edges, which is fine by me. I kind of like that look. And I have this girl. She's from the new Quirky People stamp set. And I just stamped her on some white cardstock and cut her out. And I'm going to apply her to my tag using some clear tacky glue. I'm having quite a glue issue. This one's all globby and barely workable. My glossy accents is clogged. Ugh, such a glue issue. Hashtag first world problems. Anyway, so sorry, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, it's a little bit too monochromatic. I need some contrast. I need another color. So I picked out some of this washi tape that has some purples and fuchsias and applied her a little bit to, or applied the tape a little bit to my girl so she's like sitting on it. And then I'm going to put some of the tape on a piece of cardstock and punch out some hearts. And my punch is a Martha Stewart heart punch. And I'm going to put those around the left side of my page, because once I had the tape on the right side, I realized that I needed a little bit of the color then on the left side. And I'm just going to apply those with that tacky glue. And then I'm using one of the new fine liner pens from the Letter It collection that just came out a couple days ago as well. And then I'm going to go in with my favorite ink for splatters, which is the Black India ink, and just do some light splatters around the page. And that's it for my page. I'm going to glue it into my mini art journal then once everything is good and dry. And I hope you enjoyed today's page. I have a few more art journal projects using the new Dina Wakley stuff. And thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.